The situation with mandatory net zero measures in Britain is getting out of control as tyranny is no longer just coming from the top, but is also being promoted by our local authorities. Yes, this is about the ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous cash cow schemes such as the clean air zones and specifically the low traffic neighbourhoods that are there to prepare us for the 15-minute neighbourhoods. So, what is going on here? Local councils, tyrannical local councils are now urging local residents to film and spy on their neighbours in case they are breaking the LTN road rules. So, we have the situation where a number of local councils and, of course, we have mayors using their powers to send out their Gestapo, essentially their local officers, to monitor people's behaviors on a regular basis in their areas. And when they introduce the pay per mile road charges, so that they could check exactly what sort of car you're driving, where you're going, how many people are in your car, then they can actually completely monitor your behavior with all the cameras everywhere. And some councils are taking it to a new level. They are now asking you to spy on your own neighbours. We had the same situation during the lockdown. Do you remember? When they lacked resources, they asked you guys to see if your neighbour is wearing a face nappy or not, or if they're breaking the lockdown rules by going to Tesco or their local parks twice a day. So, what's going on? For example, we have in Devon, the county council said that there are no cameras at the bus gates, but floating the traffic restrictions is enforceable by Devon and Cornwall police. Members of the public can submit video evidence of violations of these and other traffic regulations via Operation Snap. Devon County Council will be continuously monitoring compliance with the bus gates during the trial. So there are a number of issues with this. So firstly, it's immoral behavior. It's not really normal. Second problem is we are now going towards an AI world, artificial intelligence, where you can easily fabricate evidence. So if you're going to have some neighbor who just doesn't like you, they're going to find a way, if they can, to film you without filming you and create a fake scenario and pretend that you have broken the rules, and they can send it to the local councils, and local councils are not going to have the capability to check if this video is true or fake, right? So that's one main issue that no one's talking about, apart from obviously how immoral the whole policy is, how desperate it is that the local council are now asking us to police each other. This is how they divide society. This is how they cause chaos. This is why they want to use the so-called tyranny of the majority. It's in fact tyranny of a loud minority who are going to go out there and cause chaos. Anyway, we got people also required to sign a witness statement with the potential for needing to give evidence in court. Although the person cooperating must be over 18, well, that's good at least. People are told that they should not report certain offences such as windows with tainted glass or number plate issues, as the police cannot verify anything from the footage alone. They need more evidence. Well, that's good. If the clip clearly shows an offence taking place, the police will consider issuing an advisory letter to the car owner, inviting them to an educational course, issuing a fine, or seeking a prosecution. Hang on. Are we going to start sending people to educational camps? Re-education camps? Wow. I mean, this is 2023 Britannia. The mother of all parliamentary democracies in the world, the country that led the world in liberating a number of nations. We are now going to be promoting re-education camps, and we're going to find people, we're going to prosecute them just because they want to drive their kids to school, for example, or their grandmother to a hospital. This is so embarrassing in the state of our governance in this nation. So, we have more. The Guardian are spreading propaganda once again. This is from a few days ago. This is a Guardian article saying the rows over the anti-motorist ULEZ and the low traffic neighbourhoods lose sight of the truth. They save lives. So they're spreading this propaganda saying somehow low traffic neighbourhoods are saving lives. This is a classic authoritarian rhetoric. You have it in every dictatorship, from Iran to the communist China and everywhere else you had. mandatory measures are being introduced in the name of national security and public health. It's for your own good. This is exactly how they do it. We never have a tyrannical policy program to be introduced by saying we are the villains and we're going to introduce some bad things because we are just tyrants. No one says that. They always introduce tyrannical policies in dictatorships and now in so-called democracies by saying how it's essential. It's for your own good, the greater good. It's always about that. First things first, let's talk about the hypocrisy of low traffic neighborhoods saving lives. Look at this video, for example. We got this footage that shows how much traffic it causes and how much air pollution and how difficult it would get for a lot of people in different parts. And we're going to explain what that means. This is what happens when you introduce low traffic neighborhoods. For those who are not familiar, in case you don't know, you block certain roads in the name of cleaning up the air, right? And also help with traffic somehow. So what happens is there are going to be fewer roads as an option for drivers and motorists. So they're going to go to different side roads. That's going to cause traffic, extra traffic, which means it's going to create more air pollution, right? And it's going to make those areas more chaotic just because one road is now blocked so that you can just walk and cycle. I mean, if you're disabled, if you're an elderly who can't really walk, so you're going to be in trouble, but everybody else is going to be fine. Yeah, they're young and healthy. All the economic migrants coming from France, young healthy men, they're going to be fine with that. But this is not really the best solution for any of the problems that exist or don't exist. We know that already. So look at this guy, this Stewart guy. He is from Wirral. He's a Labour Party member, and of course he's a trade union member. Unite the union. He said this is exactly how the political left debate, because they don't know how to actually debate with facts and science. So they say this. Charlotte Gill tweeted from GB News: the ULEZ and low traffic neighborhood implementations really trouble me. It's authoritarianism, but people support it because it is attached to middle class aspirations. It shows that you can suppress democracy as long as you say you are environmentally friendly. People are being ruined by this. And then that stupid idiot said, so you want to keep poisoning our kids then? Classy. This is the most middle class thing ever. You criticize an approach a proposed solution to something, then they basically accuse you of being the devil. If you criticize, for example, certain taxes that is supposed to be, the intent is to help the working classes and bring down the rich, right? Whether you agree with it or not. But then you actually think the outcome is not doing that. You criticize it. They say, so you want the poor people and homeless people to die. Why do you like the rich? That's not what we're saying. If you, for example, criticize net zero policies, they say you're criticizing a policy. That means you want the planet to die. No, we're just saying this is not the right approach. Use your head. If you have any brain cells, well, if you had, this is why we're dealing with the political left, the ideology that is simply completely brainless. So what they instead do is they create a black and white scenario, good versus evil. They don't have to think about the actual outcome of their policy. They don't even have to explain it to you. All they have to do is say, we are the righteous angels, you are the devil. This is what they do. They label you things and they start name calling and they say you're basically a fascist, you're this and you're that. This doesn't really help the debate. And eventually it will be their own downfall, as it has throughout history. But sometimes we have to go through a dark period until we see the light at the end of the tunnel. Hopefully it's not death. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I'm Mahyar Tousi, and we are the media.